Hi, I'm going to show you how to make beer with one of our 40 pint kits. What we've got here is a fermentation vessel, an airlock, a spoon for stirring the ingredients with, a thermometer for checking the temperature before you pitch your yeast, and some steriliser and cleaner for sterilising all of your equipment before you start. You'll also need a kit which you can choose which one you want to work with. We've got the Continental Pilsner, the Woodford's Wherry Bitter, we've also got the Cooper's Cerveza. If you're using one of the single tin kit, we'll also provide you with some beer enhancer. Okay, to start with we need to sterilise all of our equipment. The reason we do that is like anything to do with food production. You wouldn't make a meal without cleaning your work surface and your implements down first of all. And that's the same with brewing. The only thing with brewing is that you have to go one stage further. Anything that comes into contact with the liquid that's going to be fermented, or the equipment that it's going to be fermented in, needs to be completely sterilised. Therefore all bacteria has been killed off. And the reason for that is that the yeast needs to be able to grow, and it needs to be able to turn the sweet sugars that exist in the liquid into alcohol. And if it's got to compete with any other bacteria, then the chances of it doing that are reduced significantly. The other thing is that bacteria can introduce off flavours and off aromas into your beer, and you can also get a spoilt beer or a beer that won't ferment whatsoever. So it's not rocket science, it just needs to be done well, and make sure that we've completely sterilised it. To do that, we use our steriliser here, and the instructions here say that we use 2 to 3 teaspoons for 10 litres of water. So I'll just take the lid off here and put 2.5 in there. And we just pop that under the hot tap now, and we just want to fill that up to our 10 litre mark, which you can see here on the side of the vessel. Now you'll read the safety instructions on here. Will tell you that this is corrosive, it's bad for your skin. As long as you wash it off your hands when you're finished, there shouldn't be a problem. What we'll do here is anything that comes into contact now with this process, we need to make sure is completely sterilised. So we'll take the grommet, we'll take the airlock into parts, we're going to take our stirrer and also our thermometer, put those into the vessel and just give that a good stir, make sure that we've dissolved all of the sterilising powder. And we're at the 10 litre mark there. So we take that out of the sink, put our lid on, make sure you have it click into place, make sure we get a good seal. There is a hole in the top of this, so you'll need to cover that with your finger, but all we do now is just rock this backwards and forwards to make sure that we're getting the sterilising solution all over the sides and the top of the vessel. You will get some gas build up here, but if you take your finger off slowly, that should release gently. What we need to do now is leave that for 5 minutes, and then we'll give that another shake. Okay, so we've left this for 5 minutes. We're just going to give this another shake now. Again, put our thumb over the top of the hole, give that a good run round, and again release the pressure slowly. And what we also need to do here, we just peel the lid back off, just to make sure that the lid is completely covered, and also that we've got some sterilising solution around the edge of the lid and over the top as well, to make sure that all bacteria is completely clear. So we'll do that now. And also just around the edges here, make sure we haven't trapped any dirt or any bacteria around the top. Push this on here, make sure it's within all of the crevices at the top. Pop that back on now, wash our hands, and we need to leave that for another 5 minutes now. Okay, so while we're waiting for our equipment to sterilise, I'll show you what you get in the kit. If we look at the 2-can kit here, you'll find that you have a sachet of yeast. You'll also be given 2 cans of our malt, and the instructions for the product are listed on the back of the box. What we need to do before we can start, and while that's sterilising, is we put both cans into hot water. The reason we do that is inside the cans there's quite a thick what's called wort, and that's the thing that we're going to ferment. And because it's very much like a honey or a syrup, we just need to raise the temperature of that to make that easier to pour. So we just pop that into the sink, into hot water, and we'll leave that for a few minutes. After 3 minutes, if your sink's not deep enough, just turn the cans upside down, and obviously we'll get the heat through, and that will thin it out. Okay, so our cans have been in the hot water for 6 minutes. We've taken those out now. Our equipment is completely sterilised. We've left that in for 10 minutes. So what we need to do now is just completely rinse the equipment. Just run that under the cold tap. Make sure that all sterilising solution has been removed. You can use this on your work surface as a sterile place to put equipment now. Rinse your spoon. Rinse your thermometer. And your airlock. And we can then empty the bucket. Remove the rest of the sterilising solution. Just give that one final rinse. Okay, now ready to start to make the beer.